go, Corporals Corner midweek video number 24. How to forge your own frontier fork. Let's get to it. Alright, so there's several ways to do something like this, but today I'm working with 1/4 inch square stock. I believe this is 1018 carbon steel. Not a high carbon content, but we're not making knives, we're not making strikers. It's easy to work with, easy to bend, easy to heat up. I think it runs for like $1 or something a foot, so we're going to be using about 8 inches to make a fork. So let's cut this bad boy off and get started. There's a couple ways you can go about this. You can heat the metal up and get a chisel and go ahead and split it down the center for about 2.5 inches. And that's going to create a nice groove in there that you can bend to make your 2 tines for your fork. It's a frontier fork. They had 2 tines back then. Around the 1700s, 1800s, around the Civil War, they had 3. And then ultimately we have forks now with 4 tines. So we're making a 2-tine fork. The old school way, like I said, get a chisel, split it down the middle. But we got the modern era. So you want to go ahead and split this quick. Use that same saw, measure it, and just simply cut down the center about 2.5 inches. There's 2, let's go 2 1/4. Alright, so far so good, we're looking outstanding. There's 1 cut left. I want to go down about 1 1/4 on the back end over here and reduce the metal by half. That's going to create a small tail that we can bend over a piece of round stock and create a loop for a lanyard. And then a V that will stick out like this to where you could put it around a bush pot bale and remove it from the fire. Here's our cut. We're going to turn it on its side. Go back to where we have 1 inch and say 1/8, no more than 1/4. Let's go 1 inch and 1/8. Now let's go 1 1/4. And we'll make a line right there. We want to cut in at least halfway and then remove that material. So that's looking pretty good. We're ready to start forging this. But before we get too far down the trail, I dropped my tip and trick number 2 video. I don't know, most forgot or most saw it was land navigation and glazed over it, didn't bother looking at it. But it was very interesting, very simple. It's 3 simple land navigation tips that will save your life. So check it out. Now hopefully this microphone works and it's going to drown the sound out. You're actually going to hear what I'm saying because someone's going to say, I couldn't hear you! Well, there's nothing I can do. We got 2 fans going in a forge, so I don't know. Once that turns red, slight yellow, maybe orangish color, you can bend it with no fear of it actually ripping away or destroying itself. We're going to put it in a vise and I'm going to turn it into a T shape. Then I'll put it back in the forge and we're going to twist it. 1/4 inch round stock. We're going to place it into a vise. And we're going to use this to bend that tail over and create an opening or a loop for our lanyard. Last step, we want to bend our tines. I put in an old drill bit, concrete drill bit, at the base. I believe it's 1/2 inch. You can also go to Lowe's, Home Depot, some hardware store, and get a small, say 3-inch black pipe nipple, and it will do the job just as well. But I found over time, it will actually warp. That one there I think is O2 tool steel. It's going to be a lot harder to bend that versus a black pipe. But temporarily, you got to get the job done. At this point, you have a couple of options. You can be done with it. Stick it back in the forge and then oil quench it, turns it nice and black. It's got scale on it. I like leaving it like that because it gives it an old appearance like it came from the 1700s. Option B, oil quench, let it cool down, and then use that same machine over there and use that wire wheel, make it nice and shiny. Some people like that, some people don't. Slightly heat it up and melt beeswax on it. I don't care for that. I like the rustic, old style look. Now, the third thing you can do, if you want, you can get those tines to swoop upward a little bit, kind of like how modern forks are. And to do that, it's the same process. We'll stick round stock in a vise, heat it up, heat those tines up, and slightly tap them, and it will give it a swoop. Once your fork is cooled down, just take an old cotton cloth, wipe all the excess oil off of it. We quench this in canola oil so it's safe to eat off of. It's like vegetable oil. Gives it that dark look to it. Like I said, there's mill scale on here still. Makes it look rustic, old, like it's been beat on and used since the 1700s. And there you go. So you can take this basic design and make it your own. You can make the tines thinner or wider. Go with 5/16, go with 1/2 inch. This was 1/4 inch, 1018 carbon steel. So something to think about. Get a forge setup like this, something basic, and you can turn these out just for your own personal use in a matter of probably 20-30 minutes. Probably have 4 or 5 of them, good Christmas gifts, things like that. What I'm going to do is on my Amazon affiliate page in my video description box, click on that. You're going to see my forge setup, and you can see basic gear that you can buy to get started for probably under 300 bucks. You'll have everything you need. So something to think about if you're interested in doing this in the future. And speaking of my Etsy store, check that out. That link is inside my description box. We have hat patches, we have bag patches, we have universal patches, we have forks like the ones we made today. We have meat forks as well for large steaks, chicken, pork, things like that. We also have strikers with and without flint and frog gigs. So check them out. On that note, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. 1, my Amazon affiliate page, and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my description box. Now please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, and then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.